please give it up for artist and songwriter, entrepreneur, Yusha Assad is in the building.
Give it up, give it up, give it up.
Yes, hello.
How y'all
Welcome
doing?
aboard, brother.
Yeah, look, you was hitting them notes earlier.
You heard me.
I told you.
Oh.
See, that's my guy right there. I told that's my new friend right there. He told me I got a little ball, a little something. So
I told him you know some breath work away from being able to do your
that's
thing.
all I need.
That's all you need.
I heard some haters in the back, but I appreciate that, brother, man. And before we introduce wifey, you want to give him a little bit of act?
We already introduced him, babe. You behind.
Oh, I'm slow.
You slow. We already.
I think something happened. Somebody put some in my drink or something.
Like you.
Okay, I forgot. Okay, I'm back. I pulled back up. I'm back.
Barism got you lit over here.
That's what it is.
The barism.
That daggone barism, I'm telling you.
Shout out to her too.
Yeah, shout out to barism, man. She over there rocking, man.
Thank you so much.
Much appreciated. So let's get right into it.
Yusha.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about you for people who don't know you or people who may just now be tuning in. Give us the short version of who you are and, let's take us on a journey.
Yeah. But the titles would be a recording artist, motivational speaker, and a master certified professional coach. But, for real, man, I'm just a believer. I love a lot of the stuff that Kel said when she came up, Coach K, when she set up. I would relate to that. I just honestly believe we all got time. We all got something to do. And if you put your heart to it, you put your mind to it, and you stay connected to your source, right, you can win. So whatever the work I do, I know that essentially my goal is to help my people elevate. And that's the mission I've been on. And I was just blessed to be a kid who, knew that coming out of high school. I got those visions and ideas coming out of high school. So music has been my caveat. That's kind of how I've carried that talent. But I got pushed into education coming out of college. I'm from a small city called Reedsville, North Carolina.
I know about Reedsville.
Yeah.
So my family's from Danville, Yanceyville, Turbeville, all the villes.
That's my people.
So yeah. So you might be Cuzzo, yeah.
Yeah, you might be.
You might be Cuzzo. Yeah, I got
the
deep
villes.
roots from the villes here, all the villes.
My father, Reedsville, Rockingham area. My mother and them was like Danville, Chatham.
Yeah.
And country, you know what I'm saying? When I was born, my mother and them was essentially they were still sharecropping, you know what I'm saying? We still had my grandmother's house on Highway 86. So I come from people who were picking tobacco in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? So that's a different upbringing.
A lot of people don't know, I learned how to drive a car from driving a tractor.
I learned how
when I was 12 years old. I was driving a farm all tractor, dissing land.
Yeah.
Pulling up potatoes out the land.
See?
I was 12 years old. I was pulling tobacco for $12 a day. For all y'all lazy bammers out there that won't work and won't go get no sack, I was pulling tobacco for $12 a day. You wouldn't even work for $12 an hour. I was pulling tobacco for $12 a day. That's slave labor. Wake up 5 o'clock and you couldn't leave the field till the sun went down.
Right.
For $12 a day. So I know labor, and I know where you talking about, and I know what you talking about because I come from that, and my family's from that same area. So that's a tough area to come and springboard from. How did you find your way from those trenches to here?
Short story, right, is I got an opportunity to go to college. Never thought I would. Nobody talked about college in my neighborhood. It was like you were either going to work at the factory. Because of how things were moving at that time, there was some other non-legal ways to get money. But I ended up in college. My homeboy, his mother had him go, and she was like, he ain't going alone. And so, by God's grace, she put in the work to help me get there. I went to the Winston-Salem State University. Shout out to the Rams.
Okay, Winston-Salem State. Okay.
For the work they got put in this weekend at the All-Star game. But I also became a student leader while I was at Winston, and I did a conference at Bowie called NASAP, National Association of Student Affairs Professionals.
Okay.
And while I was here in Bowie at that conference, we had a chance to tour D.C. How did I get to D.C., though?
Yes.
I went into teaching, and I did a program called Teach for America. Instead of going into business, I went into teaching. I ended up teaching 1 year in Charlotte. But while I was here at that conference, I met a D.C. Joan.
And they told you what happened when you meet a girl from Maryland, D.C. area. They explained what happened.
You met you at
that's
the
exactly what happened.
True is the
she
truth.
Put that thing
and
on.
She put the whoop-de-whoop on there, and next thing you know, your ass was up here.
We ended up getting married. I had to move.
How you get up here, Stan?
See, look.
I'm from here.
How you get back up here after 18 years?
I'm from here. But we talking about my man right now. So
Right.
let's pivot back over here.
Yeah, I got caught up, man. Look, I spent my first 7 years in D.C. living on 13th and T Street Northwest. You know what I'm saying? So
That's crazy.
I got a real acclimation to the city. I was teaching at Hart Middle School at the time.
Okay.
Did 2 years there, went on to Maya Angelou, and did 5 years in workforce development down in Southwest. So all of my work in the city has been service, has been for the people. And entrepreneurship was a thing that was going to come anyway because I was really raised by people who worked extremely hard.
I appreciate that too,
Yeah.
though. And so they definitely sold into you and gave you some good principles because I hear them coming out now.
For sure.
And so what's next for you, sir?
Well, I just have a question because instead of what's next, you did the teaching.
Yeah.
But you're an artist songwriter, so there's something that we're missing here. So you did the teaching,
Okay, yeah.
and then
How did you morph into the music sector outside of teaching?
So I've been doing music all my life. I've been doing music since I was like 7. Right?
Okay.
And if we get to the truth of it, and I can kind of tell the stories now because family members are doing different things. Right. For a long time, we couldn't talk about it. Right. The options that I had to win as a kid was really work in a factory or sell dope, or do music, or play sports as a black boy. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna play ball. I'm still a hooper. I'm a good shooter now. But it was like I started music.
You got a game?
Do I got a game?
Okay, I'm just asking.
No, I got game. I'm a shooter. I'm a shooter. I do that. But I started music early in some sense. So like even when I went to college for Winston, I went to school for business with a minor in music business. I only decided to go in education because I read Miseducation of the Negroes by Carter G. Woodson, and I read Souls of Black Folks by W.E.B. Du Bois, and I was like, God damn, like they really did black folks wrong. And if it hadn't have been for my friend's mom who sent me to college, I would have been stuck in that same trap. So when I read the books, I was like, yo, who gonna help the kids who come from where I come from? Like, who gonna touch that? So going into education for me was like I have to. Like, who gonna, and they put me in a math class. It's like I'm teaching math, but I'm really in there teaching like math and history because I'm like, nah, y'all gonna get these lessons.
That's right.
Y'all gonna get what I didn't get. Music
love
came back
that.
because outside of the curriculum, I needed to be able to touch them and talk to them in ways that I couldn't with a math lesson. So I started doing music again to talk to my kids, and it just morphed into God being like, nah, use this. It's bigger than that. Just keep working. And so, 10 years later, for real, September 3rd was when September 3rd, 2013 was when I did my first album. I'm 5 albums in. Dropped the last one last summer, doing a deluxe version this summer.
good for you.
And it's just to help us win for real, black folks.
Humble dude, real humble guy. Y'all give it up for my
Y'all
guy.
give it up for you.
And so I love your energy. I love the fact that you're a humble guy. And so before we let you go, with some few questions that we had. So a lot of people don't know you from music. They actually knew you I knew you from the show Love and Marriage DC. Mm-hmm. And so when we were introduced to you, you were dating Winter on the show. So how did that come about, if you don't mind me asking? Because this is what we want to know.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we all in your damn business. We try and get in your business a little bit before you get out of here. Yeah.
now we're gonna keep it quick too. I ain't gonna. I worked the 5 years that I did at workforce development. I worked with black. Me and Alfred the MC at the time. We were both supervisors in that space. And so I guess when they got on there, I did their podcast before.
Oh, that's right. Y'all met on
They
the
called me one day and was like,
Friends Who
yo,
Smashed.
we're doing this podcast
That's right.
episode called Dating After Divorce, right? I was divorced at the time. Well, still divorced. And they was like, yo, we want you to come and be a part of this podcast. We have another person here who's from the show, but we want you to be a part of the podcast. And then while we were at the podcast, they set up a play to be like, what y'all think about each other? And of course, I'm saying,
put you
like,
on the spot.
You talk about what you see in real time. Like, yeah, she pretty. Like, she
Right.
cool. Like, I didn't know anything about the show at the time.
Right.
It's like, you willing to go on a double date? And it's real time. I don't know if people saw that. My face, like, they showed the clip. I was like,
I saw it.
So you were
what's
made
wrong with
aware
it?
that
What's
was
wrong
real
with it?
time.
That was real time. What's wrong with a double date? Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And
I got you.
things transition from there. But, what I love about it is that we had a real conversation after that, too, just about how important it is to not do something for TV. So it's
Right.
just like, if this is real, if we're going to talk, if there's real energy here, let's explore it.
Right.
And if not, then, we'll let it go when the time is to let it go. And I think, we're adults. You date, you meet people, and if it works, it works. And if it don't, you
doesn't,
be an
you move
adult
on.
about it, you move on.
Right.
Okay.
I
I
get
will
it.
let you off the hook with that one this time. So I ain't gonna go no further than that. So we appreciate you though, for your She throwing up the gang sign. So we got to get ready to go. Real quick question. You got 1 minute. You got 1 hour. You just signed a great deal with music, and you have one artist that you can put in your deck. You can't take them out. Who you listening to? It can be a group or artist. Who you got?
On your hour-long car drive.
Hour-long car drive.
You're in a great mood.
You in a great mood. You just go ready to go sign a big check. Any artist, any group.
Listen, by technicality, I gotta say myself, but if I'm being real, it's gonna be Killer Mike's new album.
Woo!
One time for Killer Mike.
Yes.
Y'all give it up. Y'all give it up. So I'm gonna have to check it out. In all honesty, I haven't. So I'm gonna have to check the album out because you're not the only person that told me he had a dope album.
He got a song on there called "Shed Tears" that'll damn near make you cry.
It's me.
Wow.
He always been a dope rapper.
He was very
though.
vulnerable on this album.
We gotta check it out.
I'm gonna check it out. One time for Killer Mike. Y'all make sure y'all download that
Yes,
too. Get that Killer
indeed.
Mike album.
So Yusha, before you go, what's next for you, and tell people how they can support your journey and everything else you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't even know. What you can do to support me right now is I'll be very honest. I am in the house. I am quiet. I am listening. Candle lit, lights off, just talking to God. So how you can really support me is know that my absence right now in the scene isn't because I lack any love for anybody. And when I come back outside, I'll be there to love you. But in the meantime, I'm working on me.
Yes,
I like that.
I like that.
That's an honest answer,
That's
and I
an
love it.
honest
And I love it.
answer.
So you guys make sure y'all support his music. 5 albums in.
5
Yes.
albums in.
Make sure you support it on streaming platforms, all streaming platforms.
Everywhere.
Make sure y'all get those.
However,
Ready for you to close for us.
You can buy it from me,
Okay.
right? Directly from the source, not the middleman, the streaming services, and that way I get that money because I do want.
How
you
do
to
we
know.
do that?
I have a Bandcamp. If you go to the link in my bio, it'll just send you to my
Okay.
Bandcamp and you can buy
Yusha
stuff from
Assad
me.
on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yep.
YUSHAASSAD.
Y'all ready for the closer?
Look
Yes.
at you.
Yes.
We on
I
point.
got
We
it.
on point. Y'all ready for the closer? Y'all put y'all hands